What we have here today is a genuine VARIAC. This is my father's. The word VARIAC has become kind of a, I guess, lexicon. There's really only one genuine VARIAC, and this is it. This was made by the General.Radio.Company, also known as Genrad, in Concord, Massachusetts. Now, I live in Massachusetts, and my electronics teacher in high school, I had 2 years of electronics. The first year was analog, the second one was digital. So that first year we worked with discrete components. And the second year we worked with integrated circuits and breadboards. But anyways, my electronics teacher was great. His full-time job was working for Genrad, General.Radio.Company, and this was one of their bread and butter products. Now, when you watch a lot of these YouTube videos and people will say, oh, I brought it up slowly on the VARIAC. No, they didn't. It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. And even if they did, they didn't bring it up slowly on one of these. Like I said earlier, this is a real VARIAC. It amazes me how people will say, well, I brought it up slowly on the VARIAC, and then they don't show you how to do it. Come on, it's complete bunk. They didn't bring up anything slowly on the VARIAC, and if they did, there's no rocket science to this. You just bring up the voltage slowly, and hope you don't hear any cracks or pops. If you do, you just shut this thing off. If you have any problems with it, you reset it. But what I'm going to use this thing for, and I'm going to test the voltage on it in a few minutes. My Hallicrafters SX-42, I believe, was designed to run on a lower voltage than 120. I want to say it's designed to run at like 105, 110, thereabouts. But we're going to check the manual. We're going to hook this thing up to a meter, check the voltage, and run it at that voltage, and see how we do. See how the SX-42 runs, and if all runs well, we're going to keep it at that voltage. So next thing, we'll get out the meter, and, well, actually before that, I'm going to take out the manual to the SX-42, and we'll see what it calls for line voltage. SX-42 manual. Yes, this is the original manual. And you can see here, just like on my SX-42, it's got the little lock decal on the dial lock, which is pretty neat. Forward by William Halligan. We're going to see what this thing calls for. Here we go. Line voltage. Unless otherwise marked, this receiver is operated from 105 to 125 volts. Cycle AC power. Now that's pretty interesting right there. I didn't think they even, household current, I didn't think even went up to 125, but my goal is I'm going to run it a little on the low side so that the tubes in theory last longer, they run cooler, and we're within that range. So let's see if we can get 105 volts out of the VARIAC, and we'll get the meter out and start testing some voltage. Okay, back here in the Hallicrafters kitchen. I think I like working with alternating current, like putting a shotgun to my head. It's not fun. We've got the probes hooked up here into the AC socket. We've got our meter from Harbor Freight set to 200 volts AC. And we're going to fire this thing up and hope we don't get any sparks. Here goes the voltage. All right, we're up to 10.9. Oh, we're going to take this up slowly. 20 volts. Look at it, it's spot on. It is spot on. 30 volts. You can't get more accurate than that for an analog control. That is amazing. 40 volts. 50. Look at that. 60. 70. 80. I'm amazed at how accurate this thing is. 90 volts. All right. Now we're getting deep into the danger zone. 100 volts. I guarantee you someone's going to post a comment on YouTube as soon as I put this thing up. You're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. Well, show me the right way. I want to see what the right way is. All right, so we're going to try to get this as close to 105 volts as possible without an explosion. Seriously, I don't think this is going to explode, but you never know. 105 volts is kind of my target with this little experiment. And there we go. At about 104, 105 volts. Rectification certainly will take care of that. I am impressed. I am really, really impressed. So now that we've got our voltage, we're going to plug the SX-42 into the VARIAC and power it up, see what happens. I think my house gets maybe darker than a mausoleum. Here it is, 3:30 in the afternoon, and it's like pitch black in the house. But anyways, we've got our VARIAC plugged into the AC. We've got our Hallicrafters SX-42 plugged into the VARIAC. Now, I got into a little bit of a heated debate on the Antique Radio Forum, and I can't tell you how many back and forths and do it, don't do it, all kinds of Rube Goldberg workarounds and circuits to do this. All I want to do is power this guy up at 105 volts and hopefully have the transformer run cooler, the tubes run cooler, and potentially have the tubes run longer life. And I haven't tested my household voltage, but I'm guessing it's well in excess of 105. I'm guessing it's closer to the 120, 125 volt range, but I could be wrong. So let's power this sucker up. We've got power. Lights look perfect. Nice and green, as they should. Tubes are lighting up. I'm just amazed at how the internet has made the simplest things so needlessly cumbersome and complex. I think this is a pretty simple way to get some lower voltage out of my household line and have this radio run efficiently and run cooler. But who knows? I'm sure other people online have other ways to do it, or they're going to tell me I'm doing it all wrong, as they're so often prone to tell me, you're doing it all wrong. So we've got our volume up, put it in receive.
5 o'clock with 10.5 minutes.
What do you know? We've got sound.
Ballas is the running back. Here is
Got a Holy Cross football game.
Field overthrown, incomplete, almost intercepted. Did he catch it?
We'll peak our meter.
It hit the ground. They're going to say, oh.
And we're running at 105 volts. Guys, it's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. And our little VARIAC did the job. So I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Maybe someone's got a better way of doing this. Who knows? But 105 volts is what I have, and that's what I'm going to stick with for now. So happy listening, happy tinkering, and hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.